In 490 BCE, a storm was brewing over the Aegean Sea. The Persian Empire under King Darius had risen to become the most formidable force on earth, stretching from modern-day Turkey to the borders of India. But Greece, a scattered constellation of independent city-states, stood defiantly on its edge. Athens had dared to support the Ionian Greek cities in their revolt against Persian rule. For Darius, this wasn't just rebellion. It was an insult that had to be crushed. Revenge was coming, and it would land on the sands of Marathon. Welcome back to another episode of our Ancient Warfare series. And if you're new here, don't forget to subscribe for more captivating journeys into the past. Today, we step into a moment when history held its breath and one city stood between empire and freedom. What happened next would ripple across centuries. The Persians arrived with a force estimated between 20,000 and 25,000 men, according to Herodotus, the father of history. While his numbers are often debated, the archaeological finds at Marathon's battlefield, including Persian arrowheads and burial mounds, confirm the scale of the confrontation. Facing them, roughly 10,000 Athenian hoplites and a loyal 1,000 from the small city of Plataea. Sparta had been called, but wouldn't arrive in time, tied up with a religious festival. But the Athenians had something stronger than numbers: strategy, terrain, and a cause worth dying for: the defense of democracy, just emerging in their city. Miltiades, the Athenian general and former Persian subject, knew his enemy well. His plan? Risk everything in one calculated strike. For days, tension gripped the plain of Marathon. Then, on a crisp morning, the Greeks made their move. They charged, the Persian lines, closing the gap quickly to reduce the effectiveness of Persian archers. This was no blind rush. Miltiades had deliberately thinned his center and strengthened his flanks. The result? When the Persian center surged forward, it was met by a flexible, resilient Greek core. Simultaneously, the Greek wings crashed into the sides, enveloping the Persians in a pincer move worthy of modern military textbooks. It was a massacre. The Persians, unprepared for a direct and disciplined assault, were routed. Some escaped to their ships, many drowned in the marshes behind. Herodotus recorded that 6,400 Persians died, while the Athenians lost only 192. This wasn't just a victory, it was a statement. The story goes that a soldier, Pheidippides, ran from the battlefield to Athens, around 26 miles, to proclaim victory, gasping, "Nenikekemen, we have won," before collapsing. Historians now believe this may be a romanticized tale, possibly confused with his earlier run to Sparta for reinforcements, which was over 140 miles. Still, the marathon race in modern athletics was born from this very legend, a tribute to endurance, sacrifice, and the spirit of defiance. The Battle of Marathon was more than a single day's clash. It marked the first major defeat of the Persian Empire and proved that the world's greatest power could bleed. More importantly, it bought time for Athens to strengthen, for ideas to flourish, and for the foundations of Western democracy, philosophy, and science to take root. The legacy of Marathon lives on, not just in marathons, but in books, films, and historical imagination. The Histories by Herodotus is still our primary account, filled with rich detail and perspective. The History Channel dramatized the battle in Judgment Day at Marathon, Battles BC, and explored its tactics in decisive battles, Marathon. For dramatized flair, the film The 300 Spartans, 1962, and 300, Rise of an Empire, 2014, though focusing on later battles, reflect the tone of Greek resistance sparked at Marathon. The PBS series, The Greeks, also dives into the cultural significance of this era. Even in military academies today, marathon is studied for its tactical brilliance, a masterclass in asymmetric warfare. Marathon reminds us that sometimes history pivots not on size or strength, but on courage, leadership, and unity. It wasn't just Greece that won that day, it was the idea that free people could stand against empire. That belief echoes in every society that values liberty today. So the next time you lace up for a marathon or debate an idea in a democracy, remember it began here, on a dusty plain near the Aegean, where ordinary citizens made an extraordinary stand. Want to uncover more epic battles and untold moments that shaped our civilization? Share, subscribe, and ring the bell so you don't miss the next episode in our Ancient Warfare series.